What's up, everyone? Mike Singer, Blue and Gold. Our Friday recruiting update here on our YouTube channel. As you guys see, first I want to apologize. It's just a big Mike Singer face on your screen. I got no host today with Trey Yanity. He's going to be out for a few weeks. He's got a procedure going on, which will knock him out. So we probably won't have him until about late February, early March. Yeah, as we do these Friday shows. Moving forward, but it will just be me unless we come up with a new plan there. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of go Q&A, solicited questions on our Blue and Gold message board, posted on Twitter, and obviously with our live chat here, we'll take your questions as well. So post your thoughts, post your comments. It's just kind of gonna be informal, and we're gonna talk some Notre Dame football recruiting. Maybe any off-topic things as well. You can shoot them my way, and we are going to have a good time. So please do. Go ahead, drop your comments, hit the thumbs up, of course. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so yet, and you can always go over to our website as well if you like our content on our YouTube channel. $29.99 unlocks you premium access until the start of next football season. So please do head over that if you want to guarantee that I'll answer your question, or just to help support our show. Please do drop a super chat, and we will get to that as well. John says, coldest Texas, Montana. Great day to be Irish. Appreciate you, brother. Stay warm. Charlie Wilson's last belt loops. Always a supporter. Appreciate you being here. Joe Bro says, what's good? Are we done with 2023? I certainly think so. I haven't really heard much or really anything at all for Notre Dame potentially being still in the mix for any 2023 prospects. So it seems like they're I mean, last cycle it was the Jabran Payne came up late in the cycle. He got his release from Indiana. And could there be something like that? Sure, but it does certainly seem like Notre Dame is done for this 23 cycle. All that I would keep an eye on moving forward is the transfer portal in that spring area. Notre Dame will go through spring ball. I'm sure there's guys on their roster that they think are going to leave. So the question is, are there any surprises, right? If you have a surprise, let's say just a linebacker, for example, linebacker transfers out, he's not happy. Then does Notre Dame go bring someone in? Like, that's something to kind of keep an eye on for transfer portal in the spring. Nick, do appreciate this as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Head to blueandgold.com. If you like these insights, you'll like that a lot. So, going to our Blue and Gold message board, got some questions lined up. Thomas Naw asked, how many defensive linemen does Notre Dame want in the 2024 class? I think people will want to, like, on our Blue and Gold message board, be like, man, this is the cycle. We got to take 8 or 9 guys. Or, it's just Notre Dame's never going to take 8 or 9 defensive linemen in class, but I think realistically the most, and I think Notre Dame absolutely stretching it, would be 6, but I personally don't see 6. I think it's going to be 5. And if you were to make me project a 5-man defensive line class right now, and I do plan on doing an article at Blue and Gold soon about, hey, here's where the defensive line board stands, because there's so many offers they've sent out. It's hard to kind of get a gauge of exactly who Notre Dame's in the mix with the most. But this would be my 5. I'd say Owen Wafel, obviously, he's committed to Notre Dame. He's pretty solid with his pledge by all accounts. I do believe he visited Oklahoma in the fall, but I believe his teammate and buddy is committed there or had just signed there, something like that. So really nothing to be aware of or concerned about. So, yeah, Wafel's been committed to Notre Dame since last spring. Looks good there. Jacob Smith, 4-star pass rusher. Believe he's actually from Kentucky. He's playing at Loomis Chaffee School in Windsor, Connecticut right now. But, yeah, Jacob Smith, I've got a prediction for him to land in Notre Dame, as well as Jared Smith, his twin brother, more of an interior defensive lineman. So I would project both of those guys to land at Notre Dame, but it's not a lock by any stretch. They just posted their top 10. They're not expected to make a decision until I think their birthday's in August. So that's what they're looking at right now. So projecting them towards Notre Dame right now, but again, not a guarantee. I still like Notre Dame for Justin Scott. Obviously that recruitment's took a really positive turn towards Notre Dame. And as much as people want to say, oh, Notre Dame's still going to get Justin Scott, him delaying his commitment past July 31st, it doesn't mean much. Notre Dame's still going to get him. I appreciate your optimism, but this is recruiting. If he was going to commit the 31st and it was Notre Dame and now he's not, and he's going to push it back and take a bunch of visits, it's we're basically at square one at this point. So, Notre Dame do like the Irish to land Justin Scott with all that being said, but if you're still feeling super confident that this kid's going to go to the Irish, like I said, you're a very optimistic person. Appreciate that, but it's basically like a reset of the recruitment a little bit. I do believe he used that exact word reset with On Three's Chad Simmons, and you can read that article. Head over to Justin Scott's recruiting tab, Justin Scott spoke to On Three's Chad Simmons about delaying his decision. And then I'd also throw in Bryce Young, who's really blown up recently with a bunch of new offers. Notre Dame was the first school to offer him, I believe, first. Maybe it was second. Maybe Duke got offered him first, but I believe it was Notre Dame. For a while there, he just had these fours like Notre Dame, Duke, Charlotte, Tennessee, Penn State, USC, Iowa, BYU, and UConn all offered here in the past week or so. So we're seeing his recruiting process blow up. Obviously, he's the son of Bryant Young. I would be pretty surprised, if this 4-star prospect doesn't end up with the Fighting Irish, but never say never. His recruitment's blown up. He was just at I believe he was at Tennessee, and he was just at Duke this past weekend. So it's been a busy month for him. He told me he's going to go to Alabama in March. So that would be an interesting scholarship offer for him to get. But again, I would like the fight. I like the Fighting Irish to land Bryce Young. So if I'm projecting the 5-man defense line class right now, it would be Wayful as an interior guy. Jacob Smith to me is your probably your Viper in the class. Jared Smith, an interior guy. Justin Scott, an interior guy, and Bryce Young is a 5 technique. He's listed at 6'4", 215, but he's more likely to end up bulking up and playing in that strong side defensive end role rather than to be that that Viper prospect. So just a quick scroll of the YouTube chat. You guys got questions, drop super chat, drop comments, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. All right, the next comment we had from our blue and gold message board was from Charlie T, who asked, who is the next 2024 wide receiver to commit? I'll be honest with you, Charlie, I would love to know, because as I looked at your question, I took a glance at the this is the offer page at On Three. So if you're on our blue and gold website, you would just where would that be? So if you're on the blue and gold website, punch in blueandgold.com, football recruiting, and click down to offers, and then switch the tab to 2024. It looks like 21 receiver offers, but then I think there's a couple more listed in the athlete category. But as you scroll this list, there's no one that like super stands out to me as like Notre Dame is definitely the leader here. Ryan Wingo, that one's quite the battle. The RPM's leaning towards Notre Dame because yours truly threw out a pretty early pick. But that's still anyone's game at this point. Don't like Mylan Graham for Notre Dame. As you just kind of scroll through this, now Tay Johnson is one I do like the Irish for, but is he a receiver? Is he a safety? Like, I don't think that is super locked in just yet. Hold on, I need to send a quick text message. And scrolling down the list, there's just no one. I mean, Breedell Richardson looks good for Notre Dame, but I mean, so does every other school he's always tweeting about. Jeremiah McClellan, Notre Dame would love to have. I think Daniel Freitag's more of a safety target for the Irish. Notre Dame would love to flip Jason Robinson from USC, but doing that from Long Beach Poly is never easy. David Washington from Las Vegas, Notre Dame just offered him about 5 minutes before we started recording the show. I know he's really excited about his offer from Notre Dame. There's no one that really makes a whole lot of sense. Looking at the athlete category, Emmett Mosley, I've liked Notre Dame to land him, but he's talking up other schools a lot more than the Fighting Irish at this point. So I really don't have a good answer for who's the next receiver commit. What I would probably say is Good thing you got Cam Williams because he's a five-star type talent. And he's from your backyard, very active in recruiting for the Fighting Irish. So that is it's a big get for the Fighting Irish. So let's take a look at Cam Williams' profile. Yeah, on three has him ranked as the number 20 overall nationally, number 5 receiver in the country. It seems like the rest of the websites are kind of getting on board with ranking him fairly high as well. I know on three ranked him really highly early, and some of the others have followed suit. So, yeah, you're definitely fired up to have Cam Williams committed. Going again, folks watching live on YouTube, keep getting those questions in. We'll get to those in a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a sip of water for this one. So Justin Scott delays his decision. Why is this is a two-parter. I couldn't fit in the whole comment in one little text block here underneath me. Justin Scott delays his decision. Why is one? I'd rather it this way than get his commitment and have him flip at a later date. No doubt would be awesome to have him. So here's the thing, and I talked about this Wednesday night with Tim Hyde. There is on one end, Notre Dame and Marcus Sherman said this: you want to get that commitment, you want to push for it, because when the kid commits, it's harder for them to decommit, right? If you get that commitment locked in, it's harder for them to step away from that commitment than it is, to initially to get it. And I keep butchering that, but I want to say that that's kind of the gist, right? Once the kid commits, it's a lot harder for them to decommit. But what you don't want to have happen, and I think so many Notre Dame fans right now are, when they think about that Peyton Bowen saga, they're just so scarred. And now every recruitment is going to be, I'm going to go a little off topic. Every recruitment is going to be Peyton Bowen, right? Let's say Notre Dame signed or had 25 commitments. They went into signing day of 2023 with 25 commitments, and only one of them signed. Let's just say one of 25 signed. And then everyone said, man, those commitments are the best. Oh man, every commitment's going to be like that one that signs. What would you just say? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. 24 out of 25 flipped, Mike, and you're only talking about the one who signed with Notre Dame? Why are you saying that all these signatures are great? That's the most stupid thing I've heard. Guys, like, not all recruitments are going to be like Peyton Bowen. Like, if Notre Dame has 25 commitments and one of them is like a Peyton Bowen, why are we now thinking, oh, every time a player is going to commit to Notre Dame, it's just going to flip later, NIL? Like, guys, like, and there's another comment soon about, like, why do all 5 stars end up in drama? It's like, it's not the case. And we'll touch on that. So calm down, take a deep breath, everybody. So, yeah, you would rather, for Justin Scott, what's best for Notre Dame is getting his commitment and signing. Now, whether that's squeezing them and really getting them to commit this month or getting them in May, I don't have that answer. Because if you try to, hey, push things back a little bit to make sure you're really sure to make this commitment, maybe you don't get him in May. But if he does commit in January, maybe then he sticks throughout. You just don't know. So I get the sentiment that from Notre Dame fans that I'd want him to, wait, take some visits and all that, for your own sake, right? It's better for you and your, and your emotions and not having to go through that kind of thing again. But for the actual sake of the recruiting process, and Notre Dame getting it, I don't have that answer. Get him now and he's maybe not as solid versus risk it, get him later. Maybe not risk it's the right word, but have that process go on a little bit more. And maybe you do, maybe you don't get him at that point. Let me guys know what you think in the comments. Be interested. That's kind of where I'm at with that. And then part 2 of this question: does Notre Dame have any other hosses like him on the radar? Justin Scott's kind of a one of a kind. But yeah, R73 continues. We need some very large and athletic young dudes for our tier defense line. The first guy that kind of came to mind for this is, I'm going to go slightly off topic. I have been, for folks who've been reading me at Blue and Gold for a few years, I used to be very stingy with my predictions, right? Going back to when we were at Rivals, I did not like to ever put in a prediction and then flip it or be wrong. I've kind of shifted on that a little bit. You guys love the predictions. You just do. So I've gone towards a little bit more of being like, I'm going to log a prediction when I do feel pretty good about a player landing at this school, but it's more of this is where things stand now rather than just being the guy who puts in a prediction, once the kid announces a commitment date and you already know he's got a silent commitment set in place, right? So I'm trying to kind of find a happy medium a little bit, but so TJ Lindsay, going back to your question, TJ Lindsay's a guy that I think I logged this pick in December maybe or November. December. Oh, look at Sam Spiegelman also logged a pick for Notre Dame. I didn't even see that. That was a few weeks ago at this point. But yeah, so I logged this December 12th. Remember getting a call from Notre Dame source on in the weekend, and the source was like, "Hey, Fighting Irish staff feels pretty good that this kid's gonna probably end up Irish," and so logged the pick, but then things changed. Like I think when I logged that pick, I wasn't feeling good at all, and I don't think people in South Bend were feeling great about where the Irish were at with Justin Scott. But I just I'm kind of curious, like if Notre Dame gets Justin Scott, do you also take TJ Lindsay? There's this, recruiting and figuring out your defensive line board and, regardless of position, really, how these pieces all fit together. It's like a game of chess. It's like a puzzle. It's just, do you get the Smith twins? Well, if you get the Smith twins and Scott, do you take Lindsay? Well, what if you're not looking good for the Smith twins? Do you then take, I don't have those answers. Usually these things work themselves out and the kids will kind of, make the decision easier for Notre Dame based on where the recruitment's trending. But again, I do like Notre Dame here. I think the Irish are the favorite. I'm just not 100% sure how this interior defensive line board does shake out because you even have Owen Wafel committed, and he's probably he's probably a 3 tech at the next level. So Lindsay's listed at 6'5", 250. When I saw him at the All-American Bowl Combine in January, he was looking more 6'5", 290. So just a big dude. He is a hoss. He is a large and athletic dude for the interior of Notre Dame's defensive line. And I'd also throw in Owen Wafel. He's not super tall, but when you see pictures of Owen Wafel, and I actually believe, if I can pull this picture up of the 7 Notre Dame commits, no, that's not going to be it. I had a picture saved. I don't know how I'm going to find it right away. But Owen Wafel, the gist is the dude is actually I found it right here. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick. Let's see. There we go. That's Peter Jones. Peter Jones is a pretty big dude. Look at Wafel. Just looks like a mammoth. So, a long way to answer your question. Yeah, Wafel, you got one committed already, and then yeah, and then I think you get Lindsay, but this might all be a moot thing because you might get Scott anyways. So yeah, Joe Bro saying you take them all, you take both. I get it, but at some point you can't take 48 players in your class. So that's you just can't do that. Papa Bear doesn't do Google Mike. Yeah, someone posted on the message board that the weather looks okay in Chicago, so maybe Justin Scott does visit this weekend. He's supposed to as of right now, but we will see. We will see on that. All right, folks, quick word from our sponsors. Yes, we are still a sponsored show here, even though Mike Singer's just going solo here. So if you are a passionate Notre Dame fan and looking for that special Notre Dame piece to complete your rec room, go to auggieslockerroom.com. Look at this Bryant Young 49ers football jersey. That is sweet, signed as well. You're only getting this kind of stuff at Auggies Locker Room. They have a wide selection of Notre Dame Stadium pieces, jerseys, helmets, autographs, one-of-a-kind Rockne items. You can find exclusive Joe Montana signed items and famous sculptor Jerry McKenna's miniature replicas of the bronze statues you find around the stadium. If Augie doesn't have an item that you want in his store, let him know. He will find it for you. Visit auggieslockerroom.com. Stop in at 1811 South Bend Avenue when you're in town and see the vintage helmet display dating back to 1890. Again, folks, augieslockerroom.com, 574-277-ND. Let them know that Blue and Gold sent you. Please head over to augieslockerroom.com. All right. Drew, your question about giving up football for academic scholarships. Look, I'm not getting into that. I mean, you can yell at people on Twitter about that. I mean, I'm not gonna speculate and get into that. Yeah, I mean, the scholarship limit, this stuff just works itself out. I don't really like speculating on this either. Like, just let things happen organically. Like, I think some things in life are just fine. You just wait. Notre Dame's over 94. I'm not gonna, or at 94 commitments or excuse me, scholarship players. It's going to get down to 85. It always does. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, just scrolling through the YouTube chat real quick. Queuing up some comments that we'll get to here in a little bit. But do want to go back to our Blue and Gold message board. Those are the folks that are paying that nice deal that we have going on right now. $29.99 to unlock premium access till start next football season. Join our website. Head over to the Loose Emoji board, and yeah, you can ask questions all the time, and I usually answer them. Usually. But then, Papa Bear asks about Chicago weather, and I'm like, dude, you can Google that as well. You can Google that as well. Okay. So I thought this was a good question to ask. R73 says, why is Tommy Reese whereabouts so secret when it's well known where all the other coaches will be? Not a big deal to me. It just seems odd. One, I think once in this January recruiting period, when the coaches are out on the road, which I think they were on the road, 5 days this week, 4 last week, and then 1 other day. So that's 10 days. I think it was just one where the media wasn't reporting on where Tommy Reese is going. To be honest with you, I want to say it was Wednesday, and then I saw a tweet that he was in Kansas City. I have no idea. What, I know people want to be like, oh, he's interviewing for a Chiefs job. Look, guys, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, and I don't know why it wasn't being reported. But in terms of December, there were several days where his whereabouts were secret. And it's I mean, guys, you're seeing transfer targets. And I kind of was asking around, like, why doesn't Notre Dame why don't they want that out there? Like who they're looking at more in the transfer portal. And it's kind of twofold. This is kind of what I've gathered. One, it's you don't want your business out there for other colleges. Now, high school recruiting your business is going to get out there. It's a lot different. It's a long, drawn-out process over anywhere from 2 months to 3 years, right? I mean, some of these recruiting process. Notre Dame's offered a 2026 player this week. These recruiting processes can go very long. Your business gets out there. The colleges, I think, even like for their high school recruiting info to get out there. It kind of builds hype and momentum even. But for transfer portal recruiting, we're talking about, from that 2 month to 3 year process for transfer portal, it's like 1 day to 2 weeks. Like these things are going. There's not, I mean, you don't really want your business, you don't want to alert other schools what you're doing. So that's part of it. I think the other part of it is, if Tommy Reese is going to, let's say I'm just totally throwing this out there as not even speculation. It's just an example. Let's say Tommy Reese is going to stop in at a running backs, to see a running back transfer who's really darn good, just maybe kicking the tires to see if he's any good. And that gets out there. What do you think Logan Diggs and Audric Estime and Chris Tyree and Jabran Payne and Jadarian Price think about that? They're thinking, man, our running back room's loaded. Why is Tommy out there recruiting and running backs? And again, folks, I just want to make it very clear. This is an example. I'm not saying that this is what happened. This is just an example of, I think, why, some of his travels. And I think the case was the same with Al Washington and Jared Parker. Just wasn't getting out there. You don't want to upset your roster for nothing. Did Notre Dame take a running back transfer? No. Might have they been looking at one? Maybe. And if that was the case, why let that get out there, piss off your running back room? for no reason. Oh, you know why, Mike? You know why? So that I could know where he was going. I deserve to know. I'm a paying member, damn it. So, I mean, there's just no reason for it. So I do get it from that like if that's Notre Dame's perspective on it. I do get that. Chick Irish asks, which Notre Dame coach has surprised you the most for the better? This guy's a better recruiter. I mean, and I know you also asked like which Notre Dame coach has maybe not done so well on the recruiting front, and I was thinking about that as well. No one's really surprised me in a negative way. I think they've all been kind of what you would expected. Like Al Golden, I didn't expect to come in and be a grinder of a recruiter on the trail. He's been a fine addition. Harry Heastand, I didn't think was going to be a grinder on the trail. When he goes on the road, he stops in typically at like one or two high schools in an area, just kind of recruiting his guys. Whereas Jared Parker will go in and recruit the entire Durham area or go to Nashville or Chattanooga. Like for his area recruiting, he'll just stop in all these schools. Like it's been kind of what you would expect. But I think Stuckey coming in, a guy with not a ton of college coaching experience, was Baylor's receivers coach for the 2021 season. Before that, he was like a grad assistant and recruiting office guy or something like that for Clemson player development. And he comes into this big job in Notre Dame and just rebuilds the receiver room with four excellent signees in Caleb Smith, Jaden Greathouse, Rico Flores, and Braylon James. Gets another, gets that grad transfer receiver addition in Caleb Smith from Virginia Tech. How fun it's going to be to have two Caleb Smiths on the roster for this season. I do love that. But so I would say Stuckey, I had high hopes for him, but didn't know what to expect. And he's definitely been a very pleasant, maybe not surprise, but he's punched above his weight class, maybe. Derek, appreciate the super chat. He says, if Jadarian Price is healthy, is he going to shock a lot of people? He is going to shock a lot of people. He's the real deal. Also, Flores and Greathouse going to play a lot of ball this season. Yeah, I love Jadarian Price. I honestly think he would have got some carries this past season if he didn't get hurt. Yeah, when you see him in person, I haven't seen him. I know I would have saw him fall camp and I made it up to a practice, but like when I saw him in high school, the dude is just very well built. Biceps could probably crush my head. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know about how many carries he's going to get, especially if Chris Tyree comes back and you got that three-headed monster in front of him, but I do think Jadarian Price will see the field next season. And Flores and Greathouse going to play a lot of ball. I think Greathouse. I just had someone text me yesterday. Who was working on a national article about like true freshman surprises, or not surprises, but who are the true freshmen that could make year one impacts. And my response from Notre Dame's 23 class, sorry, I got some of mine here, was Jaden Greathouse. Like I think that he's going to step up and he's going to be an absolute dude this season. Like physically, he's just so well-rounded as a player already. He's got the physical build. He's got the game. He comes from a program where it's like a mini college there, Austin Westlake. Like I've been there twice. And so it was, this would have been August of 2020. I had a family vacation in Seguin, Texas. And I drove up to Austin Westlake. I was like 4 a.m. I drove up there for a 5 a.m. workout. And it was when Notre Dame was looking at Cade Klubnik for the 2022 class. Notre Dame hadn't offered like any quarterbacks yet in that class. And I was like, man, I'm close enough. Notre Dame was looking at Klubnik. So I was like, I'm going to go up and see this kid. And that was this whatever just got my eyes really bothering me here. And seeing that little workout at 5 a.m, and Greathouse was there, but I think he was a freshman or sophomore at the time. So I didn't know much about him. That it was the most well-oiled machine workout. You have these 15 high school kids and like 2 or 3 coaches. The coaches are just sitting back. They don't do anything. The kids run the whole entire workout. Just, routes on air. They ran everything themselves. It was the most impressive thing I've seen. No nonsense, no messing around, no footballs hitting the ground. And Jaden Greathouse is coming from that kind of environment where it's just all business, all work. It's like college. And I think that's like something small like that is going to benefit him. That He's coming in ready made. I mean, you can talk about how high the floor is. I think that's debatable for Jaden Greathouse. Like, how speedy is he? I think he just dropped out of 247's top or national rankings, which is ridiculous to me in my opinion. But like, or how he didn't get invited to one of the All Star games. Whether it's Polynesian, All American Bowl, or Under Armour, it's ridiculous. But you can't argue the floor, right? So there's the ceiling, how good he can be, but then there's the floor, like how bad can he be? The floor is tremendously high because he's just such a good, like he's such a ready-made, proven commodity. Derek, do appreciate the super chat going back through the blue and gold message board. So Aerofan said, "Why is every 5-star Notre Dame fights for a drama-filled recruitment?" I mean, Charles Jagusah was a 5-star per on 3, right? So part of the thing here is like 5-star is very like it's very subjective, right? If you're talking about 5-star, you can well, he's a 5-star on Rivals, or he's a 5-star on ESPN, or 24/7, or he's the 24/7 composite 5-star, but nowhere. Oh, he's a 5-star per the on 3 consent. So that's part of it. But on 3 had Charles Jagusah ranked as 5-star. Not a ton of drama there. I mean, Jalen Sneed was kind of just your normal recruiting battle. Wasn't anything too crazy there. He was a 5-star according to On 3. Blake Fisher, right, was a 5-star. I think what per Rivals. So I just think that as a Notre Dame community, we like to remember very vividly the drama-filled ones, but then we'll forget about the Charles Jagusah where there was not a lot of drama. But to kind of get into your question, the 5-star players are the ones who everyone wants the most, right? I mean, they're kind of the no-brainer talents that you or I can say, oh yeah, that guy, that Keon Keeley guy, it's not hard to figure out that he's one of the best, 5 or 10 players in the country. Like, he's just an absolute freak show. So everyone wants Keon Keeley. That's why there's so much drama, is because there's just more schools wanting that. And I think another part is when you're that kind of caliber of a player, there's so much more attention on you. I mean, Aerofine, I would ask you, when you were 16, 17, 18 years old and you would have that kind of attention, how would you have dealt with that? Because I know I would have probably be the same way with some of these players, decommit and flipping. I mean, it's like you have to be very grounded. It's quite I mean, to be that caliber of prospect and to have all that attention, all the social media following, all the fans yelling at you, praising you, all that stuff on social media, that can get to your head in all sorts of ways. So I mean, let's have a little sympathy for the kids, I guess, is kind of the point there. Like, they're battles, man. They're 5-star players. They're 5-star players. All right, Justin Armstrong says, what 2024 recruit that is a long shot do you think Notre Dame has the best chance with? I actually have 2 for you. I get this question fairly regularly, and Aaron Scott's the player that comes to mind first, and Marcus Freeman and Mike Mickens were stopping by his high school today. Of course, those 2 guys are from the Dayton, Cincinnati area, and Springfield, Ohio is in that the suburb of that as well. So, I mean, look at this on 3 rankings. Number 19 player nationally, number 3 cornerback. The prediction machine is very heavily trending towards Ohio State. I don't think Scott's been to Notre Dame once. Let's actually see. Yeah, I don't. Okay, stand corrected. He was at Notre Dame at the end of July. But I would give Ohio State the edge, but when I talk to people on the Notre Dame side of things, there is a sense that Notre Dame could pull off the edge here, or kind of pull off the upset. Probably not great odds of that happening, but again, his communication with Notre Dame's been really good. Apparently, he did visit at the end of last July, yeah. I mean, there's the Cincinnati-Dayton connection for Mickens and Freeman there, so the Irish staff really working on him. And I actually think Notre Dame's got somewhat of a chance to flip Caleb Beasley. He committed to the in-state school, but Notre Dame's still working on him. I think he's still very interested in the Fighting Irish. Marcus Freeman was at his school. What was it? If it wasn't last week, it was the week before. Mike Mickens was at his school since. Like, I think Notre Dame actually has a better shot than people think to pull off that flip. Matthew says, what positions does Notre Dame need to hit on in 2024, and who might those players be? I mean, I don't know. I get this is a question I get a lot as well. I don't really know how to answer it because I don't think like the Notre Dame staff is like sitting around and be like, man, offensive line class now, we don't really need to do that well, but receiver, we really need to do well. Like, I mean, you have to recruit really well at all the positions. Like, Notre Dame needs to hit on, if Notre Dame wants to win a national title, they need to hit on every single position. And who might the players be? Well, all the players that they really want. Like, I don't really have a good answer. Like, I don't really have like a good media style answer for you here. I'm kind of going coach speak and saying they're all important positions for Notre Dame. Maybe the Irish don't need to land a big time long snapper class, but otherwise, I mean, quarterback, they got their. I mean, it's obviously the most critical position. Running back, you need a big time player there. Offensive line, tight end, receiver. I mean, you go down all the positions. They're all important. Notre Dame needs to hit on all these guys, all these positions. So, all right, that's all I had from the message board. Sorry, I mean, it's not a great answer for you, Matthew, but I don't. I mean, ask it differently, maybe. I don't know. I think they're all important positions. I mean, Notre Dame's won a national title. They need to upgrade and improve everywhere. All right, let's get to some of the YouTube chat. Vernon was a 5-star, no drama. I mean, I don't think he was actually. I mean, I don't remember any of the sites ranking him a 5-star. Maybe he was like according to the 24/7 composite, but early on, like 3 years ago. But yeah, did not have much drama there. How many cornerbacks are they looking at in 2023 and 24 class? So the 23 class is already signed, and they landed Christian Gray and Micah Bell. Somehow Christian Gray did not land an All-American invite, which is crazy to me. Bell was at the All-American Bowl. I mean, I can't lie. It was an up and down week. I, I had heard that he had done well at practices that I wasn't at, but I can only go off what I saw, and he struggled. Like it was a struggle of a week for him. But in 2024 class, it's still a little bit like it's still early to project how many players Notre Dame's going to be taking at each position. Anthony asked how many tight ends are in 24 in names. I think that's a little bit easier to project. Two, I think they're going to take two because they got Larson committed, and they're just going to take one more. In terms of names, let me see if I can't pull up the Notre Dame offer list again. Folks, please do hit that thumbs up if you're just joining us. Really helps support what we're doing here. Now let's go to the 2024 tight end offer list at On 3. And Landon Thomas is not going to happen. Brady Prescorn might. I haven't heard much buzz there. He's been to Notre Dame a couple times. I would probably guess that he ends up, staying in the Wolverine state. Jaden Riddell is a young man who Notre Dame offered recently. I believe Reese is at his school today, actually. He's one to keep an eye on, and Carter Nelson is definitely a big one for the Fighting Irish. Freeman was at his school earlier this week. He's been to campus a couple times. I mean, between Carter Nelson and Jaden Riddell, those would be the two that I would really keep a close eye on. Not 100% sure where Brady Prescorn's at with Notre Dame, but he's been to campus a couple times. So yeah, and then back to corners. It's about like some of these positions. It's about the same every year. I would guess like 2 to 3, and because they pretty much sign 2 or 3 corners every single year. So that would be my guess for now. What's up with the offensive tackle from the Northeast, Gerby Lambert? Yeah, I mean, what a huge target for the Fighting Irish here. See the On 3 recruiting prediction machine really has no idea what this kid's going to be doing yet. And I want to say Boston College or Notre Dame, maybe Penn State, maybe Ohio State, maybe Michigan, but my gut tells me Boston College and Notre Dame are the 2 most likely schools, and I would give the Fighting Irish the edge. I know that there's been predictions for him to land at Notre Dame. I think they're good predictions. I just am not comfortable doing that yet. He still hasn't been to campus. He got his offer from Notre Dame back in, I think it was Pot of Gold and for St. Patrick's Day in the 2020. Was it just last year in 2022, and still hasn't been to Notre Dame. So does he get to campus this spring for an unofficial, then an official in June? Maybe, but I would whether it's just one visit or two. I think he ends up landing with Notre Dame. But yeah, we'll just have to see. Look, Will, I mean, he might. You don't know. We'll see. I mean, you got to think if Lambert hasn't been to Notre Dame yet, he hasn't really been out to any visits at all. I think he's been to Boston College like once or twice. And I don't think he's been out of state for any visits. So if he's not able to get out on the road much, then he might not go out on the road for college. He might not go far away. Do you think Scott still visits this weekend? I mean, as of now, he's supposed to be, but I can't say with much certainty that he will. I don't think he's given Notre Dame like a strong indication on whether he will or not. But something to keep an eye on. Will, appreciate it, man. Do appreciate it. Just man, I went 41 minutes. 41 minutes just solo, just talking Notre Dame recruiting. And anything else, folks, before I get out of here? I've actually got a question for you guys. I need to know your favorite salad dressing. What is your favorite salad dressing? Like honey mustard. I love honey mustard salad dressing. I don't know if this is weird. Honey mustard salad dressing, as well as Italian. That's my two. Well, if you're just joining us, man, just rewind and join the beginning. I've been talking for 41 minutes, and I'm about wrap this thing up. So if there's any other questions, I'll get to that. But otherwise, yeah. See, I think Italian dressing is elite. Pretty much any salad toppings. For me, the perfect Joe, bro. That's what's up. I think my perfect salad is olives, carrots, cheese, and chicken. That's go-to right there. And it goes, honey mustard pairs really well with that, and Italian as well. Lemon vinaigrette is solid. Honey mustard balsamic, that sounds great. Lemon dressing for Greek salad. Okay. Well, I'm from the South too. Ranch does work for everything. Try to go a little healthy, for the salad. So, try to get you guys to ask me Notre Dame football recruiting questions and crickets, but let's talk about salads. And everyone is rating the YouTube chat. Maybe we just need to do some YouTube streams where I just sit back and let's just chit chat. Let's just talk about life. Let's go through Taco Bell orders. Do we want to drop our Taco Bell order? I mean, Will, do you think do I look like I eat healthy food? I mean, I eat salads for lunch, but then go to a place called Hamburger Mike's for dinner, a local joint. So, I mean, that's my vibe, dude. All right. Taco Bell order. Maybe we can say that for next week. Okay. Singer, what's your Bojangles? I have got a Bojangles really close to me. Never have been. Pizza, give me meat lovers. Give me sausage, pepperoni, bacon. Maybe a little steak. That's all I need. Give me $2 Chipotle ranch burrito. I mean, come on. Yes. Give me those value burritos, man. My thing about Taco Bell is it's all the same, right? Whether you get the $4 burrito or the 99-cent burrito, it's all the same stuff. So give me the quantity over the quality, because it's all quality anyways. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Folks. Please do hit that thumbs up. Head to Blue and Gold. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. $29.99 unlocks premium access to the start of next football season. I mean, I'm always on there. I'm answering questions. We're talking Notre Dame football recruiting, giving you guys updates, posting articles. So head over to the website, check it out. That's all I got, folks. You guys take it easy. Have a safe weekend, and we'll catch you next time.